Hope is a light that guides us through the darkest times. In Christianity, hope is more than just a word. It's a promise from the one who overcame death, from the one who still whispers into hearts today, "Do not be afraid." Hope is not anchored in the present. It points forward, not because the future is certain, but because it is held by something greater than chance. In the book of Jeremiah, there's a line spoken to a people living through collapse. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." These words weren't spoken at a time of peace. They were spoken in exile, after everything had fallen apart. Which makes the promise more powerful. It doesn't deny suffering. It doesn't erase the waiting. What it offers instead is a perspective that even here, even now, there is movement, that history is not drifting aimlessly. To hope is to trust that meaning exists even when the path is hidden, that what lies ahead is not random. Not everything is visible, but something is assured. Darkness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, a slow erosion of clarity, of confidence, of light. Hope doesn't pretend it isn't there. It doesn't dismiss grief, fear, or confusion. Instead, it speaks into them. Jesus says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." It's a statement that doesn't flinch. Trouble is not a possibility, it's a certainty. But so is this. It has been overcome, not removed, not avoided, but faced and defeated. The hope offered here isn't naive. It's forged in conflict. To hold on even when all evidence says to let go, that's the kind of hope being described. Not passive endurance, but a quiet defiance. A refusal to let the present define the whole. Because the world, with all its chaos, isn't the final word. Strength is often mistaken for control, for having answers, for standing tall without wavering. But the kind of strength hope gives is different. It doesn't prevent struggle, it carries you through it. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." It's not an invitation to escape the world, it's a recognition of how heavy it can become. There's no demand to have it all together, no test of worth. Weariness, in this context, isn't weakness, it's the beginning of honesty. Hope steps in when the self is no longer enough, when the weight is too much and the only way forward is to be held by something stronger. And that's where the paradox of faith emerges. In surrender, strength appears. Not always immediately, not always visibly, but it's there, steady, unshaken. Not the strength to escape the burden, but the strength to endure it. Fear is persuasive. It speaks in absolutes. It tells us that what we see is all there is, that collapse is inevitable, but hope resists that voice. Jesus says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." The phrasing matters. Do not let. Hope is not passive. It's a stance, a refusal to surrender the inner life to the chaos around it. Fear narrows, hope expands. It opens space inside us for clarity, for courage, for faith to speak louder than panic. Not because danger disappears, but because it no longer dictates the terms. We often think of hope as immediate relief, but sometimes it's endurance, a long unfolding that asks us to wait. In the Gospels, Jesus tells a story about growth. This is what the kingdom of God is like, A man scatters seed on the ground. Night and day, whether he sleeps or gets up, the seed sprouts and grows, though he does not know how. It's a reminder. Some things take time, not because they're failing, but because they're forming. Hope doesn't rush the process. It trusts that something beneath the surface is moving, even when there's nothing to see yet. The silence isn't proof of absence. It's the quiet work of becoming. Uncertainty is not the exception. It's the condition of life. There are seasons when clarity disappears, plans fall apart, the familiar becomes unfamiliar. And it's here that hope does something quiet but profound. It stabilizes. Jesus says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." This isn't indifference. It's an invitation to loosen our grip, to stop trying to predict, control, and secure what was never ours to hold. Hope lets us stand inside the unknown without being owned by it. It doesn't remove uncertainty, but it does keep us from collapsing under its weight. Hope is not an escape. It's a discipline. It's the decision to keep walking even when the way ahead is dim. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." These are not abstract words. They are a claim that in following, light becomes possible. Not because the path is easy, but because it is illuminated. To live with hope is to resist despair. It is to refuse the narrative that suffering is the end. It's a way of seeing, of carrying light into places where it should not logically survive. And yet it does. Not because of us, but because the source of that light is not extinguished by circumstance. In the end, hope is not just something we hold, it's something that holds us.